Maryland's governor is pardoning more than 175,000 marijuana convictions. More than 150,000 of the charges affected are misdemeanor convictions for simple possession of cannabis. Recreational cannabis was legalized in Maryland last year, joining 24 other states that have legalized it nationwide. CBS News correspondent Skyler Henry was the first correspondent to speak to Governor Moore after the announcement. He joins us live now from Annapolis. So what struck out to you with your conversation?
Yeah, Lindsay, good to see you. It really was the timing of it all. I asked the governor about why now. He said that it had been long overdue in terms of trying to see these convictions pardoned. It is exactly why he and the state's attorney general did what they decided to do in terms of overturning these convictions. But they also talked about saying ultimately that there's still a long way to go in this process. And it really is trying to look at and address the issues that have impacted what they call our communities of color, black and brown communities that have been disproportionately impacted by these convictions on their records, especially in cities like Baltimore or in Prince George's County here in Maryland, where the black population is more than 50%. And so we talked to the governor about why he decided to do it now, why so close to Juneteenth. Take a listen.
The thing that I always knew was that you cannot celebrate the benefits of legalization if you are not dealing with the consequences of criminalization. That we have people who still have cannabis records that are keeping them from gaining access to education and housing and employment.
And in fact, that's one of the more interesting nuggets that the governor talked about. He actually had someone who is actually benefiting from one of those pardons today. His name is Shiloh Jordan. He was a young man who had a misdemeanor marijuana conviction on his record and lost his job after only the second day of an employment because on his background check, it had that marijuana conviction on his record. And so now we know that we will see over the course of the next 2 weeks those convictions start to be pardoned electronically. This will take some time. As you pointed out, more than 150,000 Marylanders are eligible for this pardon. There is a process to follow online for those who may feel as if they are eligible to sign up for that pardon if they fall within that criteria. So a big step, according to Governor Moore and those within his administration.
And this is only for people whose sole charge was possession of cannabis or cannabis paraphernalia, right? It couldn't have been a charge along with another crime.
Correct. So this only impacts that. As a matter of fact, we should point out that this isn't 175,000 people per se. This is more so those who have those convictions on their record. It could very well be a combination of certain things. But as you pointed out, yeah, it's only for the misdemeanor possession of marijuana or for drug paraphernalia. Those will be pardoned. And we should point out, Lindsay, it's very interesting that some of these people have had this on their records for decades, not just the last 5 or 10 years or so, but some people from the 60s or even the 70s. And so I think there are a lot of people who have dealt with several hardships, as you heard the governor point out here, in terms of trying to find employment, trying to find a house, trying to do so many different things as it relates to just moving forward with their lives, and they haven't been able to because this conviction has been on their record. And so now the governor said that this is a step forward in terms of closing that racial wealth gap, the disparity gap, if you will, and especially for those in the black and brown community.
And does this give you a sense of really how much public sentiment has changed toward marijuana recreational use? And do you get a sense that the governor hopes that maybe other governors will follow suit?
It's funny, I asked him that very question as if he were the torchbearer, if you will. Remember, Massachusetts is the only other state that has taken a significant step like that. And so the governor pointed out to me that he hopes that he can inspire other legislatures and other governors to follow suit. He also did talk about the criticism that could potentially be out there, and especially in those jurisdictions and communities that may potentially be concerned when they read a headline like that. But he also went to point out that this could very well be something that existed in someone's past in years past, and they have been upstanding citizens otherwise. Also talked about his own experience and his own records of being put into handcuffs, and why, if not given a second chance, if not given another opportunity, then he wouldn't be in the position he is today as governor. And that is why others deserve said opportunities as well. And so he felt as if these announcement today, this move today, this executive order will certainly allow for thousands, hundreds of thousands of Marylanders to get that second chance.
Okay. Skyler Henry, thanks for bringing that interview to us.
You bet.